This video is brought to you by
Cool Green Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. And if you're in town, pull up on us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you're not in town, go online right now at coolgreenclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. And that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. For most men, we wake up daily with a lot on our minds. If you have a family, you got to make sure you are providing for them. The bills are being paid. It's food on the table. And for black men in America, it gets deeper. When we leave out our front doors, even driving to work, we hope we don't get pulled over by a trigger-happy officer who had an argument with his wife that morning. We got to put on a fake smile once we make it to work so we won't seem like a threat or the angry black man. And even hitting the store after work can be dangerous. For whatever reasons, some blame it on what we have been taught or self-hate. We can walk into a store full of other men. Some could be white, some could be black, and we seem to lock in on each other. Start mugging, looking each other up and down. It's just something that's embedded in some people. Most of the time, you can ignore it. Get whatever you came in for and make it home. But every now and again, things don't play out like that. Some men understand the dangers of what we are up against every day. So they work, provide to stay free, alive, make it home safely, and repeat the next day. And they might rely on a higher power to guide them through this crazy world. But with a lot of us, we lack conflict resolution. Nobody wants to back down or seem like they are weak. Add ego and guns in the mix, and you have a recipe for a jail cell or a graveyard. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be discussing the case of a petty dispute at a store in Northeast Baltimore that turned into life in prison. In most inner cities in America, gas stations and liquor stores have always, for some reason, been a hangout spot. Whether trap been in front of them, just posted up, chopping it up, usually it's a lot of foot traffic. And with a lot of people and encounters comes problems. For the one-stop liquor store on Frankfort Avenue in Northeast Baltimore, it's no different. For most stores, you have your regulars and people that hang out at the store or in the shopping plaza on a regular. For 26-year-old Amir Henderson, that was the case. A known face in the area, he often hung out in the shopping center and chopped it up with everybody on a regular basis. Amir had a shaky past, a few run-ins with police, and was a convicted felon, but he was trying to stay low and out of trouble. Another man who used to be in the same area was 34-year-old Gary Matthews Jr. Not much is known about Gary, other than the fact a lot of people rocked with the man and he was known around that way. On November 21st, 2024, it was a typical fall day in Baltimore. It was chilly outside, but for the shopping center, it was still full of people, and a few guys posted up at the liquor store, including Amir and Gary. It's not clear if the two men ever got along, but on this day, they would get into a full-fledged argument in which people who were outside described as a petty situation that wasn't that serious. But with neither men backing down, the situation ended up escalating, and seconds later, over 22 shots went off. Witnesses quickly called BPD, who responded to the location around about 5:30 p.m. to find Gary suffering from over 20 gunshot wounds and unfortunately he was pronounced gone on the scene. Multiple witnesses came forward, including one man who we will call E for the sake of the story. E was Gary's homeboy. He claimed he was at another store and heard the argument. Then he heard the shots. He stated he ran out, saw Gary on the ground, and also a weapon. So he shot at the suspect, who he claimed he also knew, and pointed to the man as Amir. Him and other witnesses even pointed Amir out in a photo lineup and gave police an address for the young man. They went to his home, but he was MIA. Police had the statements, but they also requested surveillance footage from the stores. And one home close by who had a Ring camera came forward with their footage as well. All videos caught the altercation from different angles. They showed Gary and Amir going back and forth, and Gary falling after being shot point blank range, and the shooter standing over him before fleeing. With that, a warrant was put out for Amir, who was MIA. But a few days later, his name came up in a break-in investigation, and he was arrested close by, charged with first-degree hit and weapon violations. But Amir maintained his innocence. As the case started making its way to trial, prosecutors counted on key witnesses like E. But when it was his time to testify, he pulled the I don't recall card. Even with police having his statement, claiming that Gary was his friend, he saw Amir shoot him. He even shot back and pointed Amir out in a lineup and gave police the address. He claimed he didn't remember that day though, and only came to court so he wouldn't be arrested because he had been subpoenaed. He told the courtroom, "I'm not a snitch and I don't want to talk." That was enough for Amir's lawyer to state he was an addict and he was just talking that day. He requested the statement be thrown out. But other witnesses who saw the altercation took the stand as well, and they stood on what they saw that day. The person who turned in the Ring video footage claimed they knew Amir from the area, and after watching the footage, they knew exactly who he was, and he was the shooter. Amir never admitted to anything and never stated it was him in the video. He maintained his innocence. He even apologized to Gary's family, but stated it wasn't him. The case was pointed to as a broad daylight execution, with Gary being shot 22 times, mostly in the head. And with video and witnesses taking a stand, Amir was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. Rest in peace to Gary. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. Shot over 20 times over words. Unfortunately, that's all it takes sometimes. It's a lot of men in the grave or cells over disagreements or arguments. That ego will get you every time. I don't know what the beef was about, but according to people who was outside that day, it wasn't about nothing, and definitely not that serious for guns to come out. Hopefully, one day we can break that stigma of feeling like each other are a threat, or so quick to take out our frustrations on somebody that looks like us, while everybody else really is taken from us and hurting our communities. Now over an argument, you got one man who will never see his family again, and the other will probably never touch the streets again. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts about the situation. Leave it in the comments. Yeah, man, messed up situation. Rest in peace to Gary. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Definitely tap that like button if you feeling the content. This another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.